Welcome back. Europe have won 3 Weber Cups in a row. Can the USA regain the trophy this year? At the moment, Europe definitely in the driving seat. 11-6 ahead, and they're up in this session as well. Look at those 2 blocks of blue. Stuart Williams and Jesper Svensson, both with wins. What will happen in our next game? Let's head over to Cass Edwards and Wayne Boyce, and they have a special guest. The former USA team captain, Tim Mack, is in the commentary box.
Yeah, the Mac is back, and when you joined us last time, you were 1-1, 1 win, 1 defeat.
Yeah, based on the numbers that have happened already, that's better than the statistics that the USA put up so far. So, I'll tell you, you know, when I was in here last time, the USA was in a must-win situation, and you know, the big man Wes Malott, must-win situation again here for the USA guys. They narrowed it to 3 points, but Europe's been class in the last 2 matches, guys. Absolute class. Stewie Williams and Jesper Svensson, who I don't think has lost a point. I don't know if Jesper might be undefeated in this.
Yeah, only in the Baker.
Oh, he did. Yeah. So you know, so this is a must-win for Big Wes.
It's Don Barrett against Wes Malott for the 3rd time. They've won 1 each so far at Weber Cup 2016, and Big Wes rings the 10-pin.
Great opening shot from Wes. He's using a ball that's really clean in the front of the lane, and ball just gets behind the 10-pin a little bit and gets around, as you see, and the ball makes its motion. 6-pin goes right around the 10, but it's a great opening shot.
And Tim, it's a freshly dressed lane as well.
Yeah, fresh lane. He's playing pretty deep on the fresh. This is the shorter pattern that they're bowling on, as opposed to the long this morning, and this is the pattern that's very similar to last night's pattern. And might be last night's pattern. I think that's what they chose.
Absolutely, yeah, it's 40 feet.
The Europeans felt like they had the advantage on this pattern, and so far, being up 2-1, they're showing their mettle here. Let's see if Dom, how he attacks the lane, if it's similar to Wes or not.
He shot 278 in the very first singles game of this year's Weber Cup, and he's up and running again.
Yeah, very similar places on the lane Dom's playing. As Wes is. Dom looks like he's using a ball with a little bit more surface, so it's going to pick up in the front of the lane, in the mid lane a little bit more. But you can see their angles are very similar, and the only result, the only difference there was Dom carried the 10-pin and Wes left the ring 10. You see Wes working on his feel. Wes is a huge feel guy. Everything's about feel. He doesn't really. He looks straight down at the foul line. Everything's about feel. So if he's feeling good, he can put a lot of strikes together.
He's feeling good now.
I heard him say curve from up here, actually, and yeah, obviously that was a little bit wide a target, but Wes really gets the ball into a roll really well. That's his specialty. You can see that's, you know, probably 3-4 boards wider than Dom was, and he comes in light into the pocket and does the damage. So that's a really good sign early for Wes, guys.
It certainly was, Tim, yeah, and it was very light on the head pin, wasn't it? But he got the mix. As I say, we hit him the pin, make him spin, and carries all 10. Worth 30 pins.
Just 2 points difference for Wes Malott in his 2 matches against Don Barrett. 257 saw him lose, 255 saw him win, and it's 2 in a row for Don Barrett.
Dom carries the late 10-pin there. That ball got a little bit longer. That was a little bit deeper into the lane, and you know, didn't pick up quite as early as the last shot. It's a little bit deeper in the lane there. Picks up right there, as you see it make his motion, and the 6-pin just lays off the wall and lightly taps the 10 out for another 30 pins.
Impressions on the World Bowling Scoring System, Tim?
Yeah, it's been interesting. I got to be honest with you, Cass. It's been very interesting. You know, I mentioned it earlier. Another great shot from Wes, as you see there. I mentioned it earlier. It's really important to strike. Striking is very important, and we have seen that if you get a couple opens, it's obviously very difficult to make a comeback in the match. But if you're able to put 6 or 7 strikes in the match, in the game, you're just about have a chance in every game. So.
Well, absolutely, yeah. You'll be way through the 200 barrier, and it's given us some really great results so far and some really close games.
It has. You know, for the traditionalists, it's hard for them to embrace. But you know what? It's kind of growing on me right now, and it's you know, these matches are coming down to the 10th frame, and that's what you want. That was in.
3 in a row. What a shot again from Don Barrett. Yeah, that was absolutely on fire.
Wayne, that was in. It left the target a little bit, but on the fresh oil, it didn't pick up early, And he's obviously playing a really good angle that gives him a little bit left and a little bit right. I would anticipate Dom to bowl a pretty high number here based on his ball reaction.
Well, once he gets on a roll, yeah, there's no stopping him. And what a man to follow Jesper Svensson, 245 and his win. Up steps Dom Barrett.
Yes,
Help, he said.
Says help, and the reason why he says help, guys, is that's left the target off his hand. The last shot obviously was right at target. I think he didn't want to make sure this one got as far right, and that's left. That's a couple boards left at the break point, and fortunate to break up the split. Leave an 8. It's not death, but
no, it's
certainly was close to it.
It's spares worth 18, and it was a big overreaction, but he managed to break up most of the deck.
Yeah, you got to remember right now, the Europeans are swinging free. When you're 5 points ahead in this event, and I've experienced this in the past, you get a lead on somebody, that's when you really got to put the gas pedal down. You really got to step on the gas. You can't let up in this event. And the reason why I say that is because, momentum, the ebb and flows of momentum are so key in these sessions. And right now, Dom is bowling very free, very calm, very relaxed, and has obviously very good ball reaction. And throwing it well, and they're bowling with confidence. And you couple all of those things together, and that certainly makes for a very difficult opponent.
As you say, you've got to put your foot down while you can, because all the European guys know how good Team USA are. They play with them week in, week out.
That's right. Chance for another 30 here for Dom Barrett. Got it in.
No. Maybe.
Might get it. Yeah, he got it in. Got it in on line, and it wasn't much different from last shot, but that one just wanted to check up a little bit early. It's a little bit left the target there in the front, just a little bit, picks up a little bit, and it's a good shot. 4 pin's a good shot, but definitely just a pinch left the target, and leaves the 4 pin, and this shouldn't be a problem.
It's those fine margins that this sport's all about.
Absolutely. And here's a great tool for all you bowlers out there that are watching. You see the players, most of these players get out and they attack their spares, on a much different way than they attack their strike ball. Most of them have a spare ball. They cut their angles down, and cut the margin for error down, and they're able to pick up a lot of spares there. We haven't seen a lot of opens in this event.
Hard and fast at spares, polyester or urethane, or either.
Yeah, a little bit of both. You see urethane balls going down the lane. You see polyester balls going down the lane, and these guys, their level is so high, they're able to change their hand positions and be able to manipulate the rolls of the ball, which gives them a lot of options.
Spare in the last row. No, he wasn't happy again, and that's why.
Didn't like that one. That
just dropped his head down. As soon as that ball was off his hand, he was looking elsewhere, wasn't he?
I think he's going to add tape here. That one looks like he lost that one off his hand. And very wide of target. And even though the pattern is shorter, when you're that steep in the front and get it that wide, right, the ball's just not going to come back. It's just not going to come back. We're bowling on, a very difficult pattern. These patterns aren't easy.
No, that's right. Yeah,
we're not bowling in league shots. And here, when you miss target, you pay the penalty.
Yeah, well, it's 40 foot long, and he was going right at the break point, just didn't make it back.
That's a great point, Cass.
Leaves 210 split.
A great point. You got to get the ball at the end of the pattern, coming off the pattern the proper way.
And that's an open frame. Where's Malott?
Yeah, Dom has a chance here, guys, to pick up another 30 here and take a 34-pin commanding lead with a strike. And we've seen, again, the leads early in the matches. It's tough. Wes obviously very dejected with himself. I'm fortunate, back in America, the PBA, we have in the PBA to work with Wes Malott, and we have a great thing called the PBA League, and Wes is my franchise player. I call him the franchise, and not too often can you tell what he's thinking. But I can tell you what this guy's thinking right now. He's saying, you know what? It's time to put the hammer down and give me another 30.
Well, the thing is, Tim, Wes has just had the big open frame, and what does Dom want to do? Bury him.
Again, that was left to target again. Looked like he maybe moved left, guys, on the approach. Didn't come off his hand great, Wayne. Unique environment. These guys got to keep their hands really dry, and they're sweating. And, listen, the Weber Cup's on the line here. Every point, every shot means a lot. So looked like that one didn't get off his hand as clean as the other ones, and a little left to target.
It certainly is mightily hot out there on the lane, and pretty hot in here too in the commentary booth.
Yeah, it is, certainly is.
But he will settle for 19 pins.
Yep, as long as he picks his spare up, he should be good. It shouldn't be a problem for someone of the Europeans' talent. There it is. Like you said, Wayne, the lights are really affecting this great environment that Matchroom Sports sets up for us, and it's just an amazing arena here. The lights, really affect what's going on down here on the lanes. It moves the oil around, and these players, they have to combat those changes, shot in, shot out. The lane's changing, every 10, 15 seconds that it goes by, it's changing.
And of course, the other thing, Tim, is that, they play one game and then they sit down for an hour. Whereas if you're in a tournament, you're going to shoot 6, 8, 10, 12 games straight off. Yeah, and you're really going to get a rhythm going.
100% right, Cass. Better shot there. Very similar to Dom's.
It's just not going for Wes at the moment, is it?
No, it's looking not so great right now. That ball just comes in a little bit high and leaves the 4-pin, kind of like what Dom's last 2 shots were. So.
Is that just too many revolutions coming off the end of the pattern? I
think it's angle right now. I think it's angle, and he's got to try to change his angle, maybe get in a little bit deeper and bring his break point in a little bit so it's not so far right, and see if that can help calm the ball down off the back of the pattern. But you got to remember, guys, he didn't throw a couple good shots here in the middle of the game here in frames 4 and frames 5. Those weren't good shots. So, in bowling, it's hard to move. You don't ever want to tell your bowler, hey, you got to move off a bad shot, and that's what Wes is saying. I'm not going to move off a bad shot. So, but that was a good shot, and I think he's going to make a move off of that.
Yeah, is it the stop-start nature of being out there on the lane that makes life hard for bowlers in this event?
It's incredibly difficult. This arena is incredibly difficult.
It's a great shot again from Dom Barrett.
Looked like a little firmer, but you see his angle is much less than Wes's. He's cut his angles down. He's deeper into the lane than Wes, and he's able to control the pocket right now. And that might be enough coming down the stretch of this game.
Yeah, didn't quite play the oil line, but it was very close to it.
Yeah, his angle is much less than Wes. Wes is a lot steeper. When I say steeper, that's left to right off his hand. And he's just a little steep right now. He's got to get the right angle. I think Wes has got to make a move left here.
34 pins the difference after 6 frames.
And that's what looked like. That's exactly what Wes did. Moved left and got the 10-pin out. But is it too late? That's the question.
Well, he certainly needs to strike probably 8 and 9 just to give him a chance to be there at the finish.
Yeah, 100%. All you ask for yourself as a bowler is to have a chance. In the traditional scoring event, I call it the money frames, the 9th and 10th. That's where we make our money. But again, the 9th and 10th frames, Wes, or Cass, you're right. You've got to give yourself a chance coming down the stretch here. That's all you can ask for yourself as a bowler.
4 strikes so far for Barrett from 6 frames. A couple of spares. And on this one, just to maintain that comfortable margin. He doesn't get it.
Again, a little tight. I mean, he's left the same spare each time. It's a 4-pin. His 3 of the last 4 shots have been 4-pins. It looks like he keeps changing his angles and keeps chasing it left, which is okay.
It's close, but it's not quite close enough, is it? It's just sort of nanoseconds away.
No, that's right. So a spare here gives him 177. He's up 23 pins. But as you said, Cass, if Wes can come down the stretch here with another strike here, because he's made the move on the lane, and it certainly gives a breath of hope coming down the stretch. That's for sure.
No, he's frustrated there, isn't he, Dom Barrett? Despite the fact he's in the lead, he probably feels that he could have cemented more of an advantage.
100%, Wayne. Couldn't agree with you more. The bowlers at this caliber, what they want to do is when they have their opponent down and someone's searching, they don't want to give them any kind of confidence to try to, gain it, especially coming down towards the end of a game. And that one just picked up and went left. Barring any crazy things from the stretch from Barrett down here, which I don't foresee happening because he's controlled the pocket most of the game. As you can see, the ball dive hard left. Wes just couldn't find his way here in the middle of this game. And I mean, he still has potential 230 out there, 231 if he throws 2 strikes. But he would certainly need a lot of help from Dom Barrett in these last 3 frames.
When he picked up 3 points out of his 4 matches this afternoon, really helped almost single-handedly bring the US back into touching distance, but he doesn't look at all happy out there now.
Yeah, it's a little difficult. And again, that's just trying to get comfortable. As you see, this is a great learning tool for all the young bowlers and even the adults and bowlers that are watching out there. This focus and concentration. Don't throw it till you're ready. go through your checklist, your pre-shot routine, you know, get an idea, get up, commit to it, make the shot.
Here's the 10.
Great shot from Dom there. He's actually bowled a really solid game. A really, really solid game.
I guess he's playing safe, shooting that line, and he'll accept a 10-pin if he can spare it.
Well, what it tells me, Cass, is it tells me the lane isn't as easy as it looks. Dom's actually made it look pretty easy because for 8 frames, he's hit the pocket on all 8 shots. You know, Wes has had a hard time here, you know, and he's a world-class player the last 5 shots. Granted, a couple of them have been good shots, but that tells me it's tricky out there. That's what that tells me. So Dom's bowling smart right now.
Yeah, he's just playing the percentage, really, isn't he?
Yeah, he's bowling smart, and you know, it's easy for us to sit up here and look at it, but you know, when you're down there in the trenches, I've been there plenty of times. It's sometimes that lane looks like it's about 100 feet long.
Well, what Dom is realizing is it's Wes that's got to do the catching up.
That's right. This is a must-strike situation for Wes. That's a better shot.
Oh, finds the pocket beautifully, just when he needed it.
Yeah, really good shot. Wayne, well said. Needed it in the 9th frame to give himself any kind of chance coming here in the 10th frame. No matter what Dom does in the 9th frame, he's still going. No matter what he does, he still has a chance to win in the 10th frame. So Dom can open in the 9th, but he can still get the 30 in the 10th, and he'd still have a chance to win the match. So let's see what happens. Although if he gets bad pin count, you know, it could be low. But
yeah, sure. I hear what you're saying. But I mean,
striker 9 every shot.
Striker
right
9.
now,
Yeah.
So let's see what transpires here. Again, going through the checklist. See it.
I like the deep breath and the expelling of the air before he goes.
Yep.
Every single time. Get up. Well, he was looking for it. And rings the 10-pin in the corner.
Yeah, the messenger comes over. Just misses knocking it over. The 6-pin lays in the gutter. You see the messenger come over. And the quick machine takes it. You'll see this gets a little bit behind the head pin, obviously. And watch the head pin come off the wall. It comes off the wall. It's rolling, rolling, rolling. You got the blocker up there, which is the 6-pin. It hits it, but just not enough power to get it over. That again, that's those new pins you talked about, Cass. Right?
Yep, big square bottom.
Look out.
Oh, no.
We can see that coming from a mile away, Tim.
There it is.
Well, it's a 1-frame shootout now, isn't it?
Now it's a 1-frame shootout. So Wes goes from no chance at all, and then here you go. There it is. So now it's a 1-ball shootout.
Yeah, absolutely. Both guys must strike.
And just like that, you give a great bowler like Wes Malott life, and he's just found his way with a strike.
And how exciting this scoring system is.
Yeah, this is exciting.
Yeah, it's taken us all the way to the 9th frame, and it can possibly turn around in one shot.
This is the beauty of the World Bowling Score format right here. This moment, this shot, this is what it's all about.
Oh, and again.
Okay, Wes is obviously having some feel issues because Wes balks an awful lot, guys. This is not something new for him. He just balks. He knows it's a big shot. He knows the moment, and he wants to make sure it feels perfect off his hand so that he can execute the shot that he needs to execute to put the pressure right back on Dom, who's obviously got to be thinking right now, man, I just missed that spare, right?
And how often's Dom going to miss a single pin in a tournament?
It's extraordinary, isn't it?
Unbelievable, yeah. But what?
Huge shot. Does he get it? Oh.
Nah, dies right in the middle of the lane. So that can only be 220 if he can spare this.
That still forces Dom to make a mark.
Absolutely, yeah.
So what that forces, we call it, they got to match 10th frames, right? They got to match 10th frames. So if they would have, whatever Wes has to do, Dom has to do to beat him. So Dom can't lose any count because he's not, you know, he's missed a spare. So any spare, if Wes makes this, any spare from Dom is a win as well.
Spare it.
That puts him at 220, and any spare from Dom here is a win.
It nearly turned around, but it looks as though the European captain may step up.
Well, no, actually, let me take that back. 6 spare is 16.
It's 221.
Yeah, that would still be enough.
So he needs 6 spare to win. This is where the World Bowling Score is unique. He needs 6 spare to win. 5 spare is a tie. Any open.
Tim, he's not going to hit 6. He's not going to hit 5. And
let's see. We don't know.
Okay.
That's why we play the game.
Absolutely.
Hope springs eternal.
Let's see what happens
from an American point of view.
This is why we play. But this is why we play the game.
A great chance here for Dom Barrett.
There's the breath Cass talked about.
Nervous times. One shot. and it's all over. But it's got to be a good shot.
You got to have a short-term memory right now, Wayne. You can't think about what just happened.
This is for a 12-6 lead for Europe.
Oh boy, not an easy spare to make, guys.
Got to spare the sleeve birds. The
2-8 is very difficult.
Talk about putting pressure on yourself.
He's chatting away to himself there, isn't
he? What he's doing is he's reinforcing. He's giving himself positive reinforcement right now, Wayne. It's very difficult, guys, because this on this lane condition right now, you know that if you miss going up the lane, it's going to go left, and if you miss a little bit right, it's going to go right. And with that sleeper pin in the back, you've got to be able to cover both pins.
Who would think that Dom may have 2 open frames in 9 and 10? This has to be a spare.
Got it.
Absolutely great. Well bowled, Dom Barrett.
Terrific stuff from Dom Barrett. And Europe extend their lead to 6 points. And Tim, this is proving a very, very difficult session again for the US.
Again, you got to take your hats off to the captain and the European team. They picked this pattern that's been good for them, and so far that's proved their mettle again. They win and taking a lead again in this round.
The captain's role then for Dom Barrett. It is a 6-point advantage for Team Europe. They lead 12-6. It continues right after the break.